Okay, welcome. So today lesson will go through our LO4, learning outcome 4, and until now we covered 3 learning outcomes. And during lesson 1, we had a discussion about tax planning. We went through the rates. Lesson 2, applications. Lesson 3, look around our residencies, penalties, and ethical consideration in tax. We went through the basic. Today lesson really focus will be more about stakeholders, which is our LO4. And in LO4, the key, of course, we always looking the financial and the non-financial elements. We need to be make sure that tax element in terms of transparency and transparent information. We need to be look around all true and fair information for our stakeholders. So they just include it for sometime maybe we think, come on, it's a taxation and we're looking stakeholders because as the awarding bodies, they have created the unit specification. According to the unit specification, we need to go through the stakeholders element. That's we need to be keep in mind. So today is focus about LO4, which is and that's which I'll share with you. Anybody have a question? Jason, if you have any question before starting. Okay, so okay, no problem. What we can do, we can I'll send you a recording. I can request, and we can arrange one-to-one if we need. So I'll request Monday to sort out your access.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we can arrange one-to-one, so we can recap whatever we done. Okay, welcome. So our LO4 is be able to communicate communication and taxation information to all relevant stakeholders. So stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest in the business is called stakeholder. So
Yes.
it's important user of financial statements. Always we need to look around the interest of different stakeholders to meet. And of course, government want really fair tax, according to the tax rate we need to pay. And of course, as accountant can play the key role in terms of and the customer. If it's a value-added tax, we are the tax collector, and the information we need to pass to the stakeholders. Okay, so today lesson is focus about stakeholders. We went through the always good to be you can you already hope so you've done in various other units subject area as well. Stakeholders, user of financial statements, those that can be internal and external. We went through rates in the previous lesson. And today our focus is more about the stakeholders. Okay, so these are all rate we went. So we have a 4.1 communicate, advise, and the information appropriate to the formal or relevant stakeholder. So stakeholder analysis is very crucial. As an organization, we have to develop the strategies, main action plan. What we do normally, the word strategy is derived from the Greek word strategy, which we used to be in military. but is very famous word, and the strategy is action plan for as well. So stakeholders, the group are the individual who has interest in what organization does and expectation. So even the generation will come after us is also stakeholders. So really we need to be in a business and the tax affairs to look around and communicate and pass the information or relevant information to the various stakeholders. Okay, so stake, as we discussed, is mean interest, and it can be internal, external stakeholders. We can look around these and the classification of stakeholders. So internal within, so implies really want the pay and working condition and the job security. So that's the affair really we need to communicate, and management really want status, pay, bonus, and the job security, and we can look around the growth of the company, and we need to be managed as a manager. Then we have a connected stakeholders; those are connections with the companies. So those are shareholders. Of course, shareholders, we want to be their wealth maximization. That's the key. We can look around the customer expectation. They want value for money, supply it, and the VAT, whatever the VAT they are paying, it should be paid to HMRC. So, and the sale, which is output VAT, that's supposed to be value added tax, we're supposed to be paid. That's the liability for the company to pay to HMRC. And from the supplier, what we paid the in term of on invoices and the purchases input, which we can get the refund accordingly, as the we need to be look around the VAT category, and we can communicate, and communication in the stakeholder point of view is very important. Finance providers, so we can look around if we borrow money from the various the lenders, and we paying money, we paying interest, how we can collect, what impact will be on the taxation. That's also we need to be look around, and uh, communicate with all the stakeholders. Community at large really want as a society. So always the taxpayer can raise the question, where my money, how my money is, because in the few years back, we used to get the letters. They are saying how much tax we collected from your tax, where the percentage where we spend it, like and policing and all. As a community need to be informed these. Environmental pressures group are always taxes we are charging, like at the moment environmental tax 0.79 pence on the gas electricity bills. We are paying the climate levy, and the climate levy tax and various others now is carbon zones and all these taxes. So we can look around what impact on the environment, because a lot of tax being collected, and where these tax and the stakeholders need to be informed. And the government, of course, government is a key interested the fair and the legislations and various legislation to fulfill all these companies, and give the true and fair information to the rest of the stakeholders. Trade union, of course, union can play the key roles as well, and we need to be informed to union about our affairs, and we need to be in, because they are very interested in the financial statements, and the financial decisions can be made, and the trade union want the fair representation of the employees, and the treating them accordingly with not only the employees, other stakeholders as well. We have sometimes it's a matter of conflict of interest. As a managers, you need to be your job to manage them. So stake mean interest, we need to be make sure employee versus managers. Employee want more salaries, and managers want more bonus. So we have to look around the balancing, like the CEO of the Barclay Bank being paid £2 million bonus when the Barclay Bank not earned the single penny profit. So that's the remuneration committee in the corporate governance is very important. We have to look around customer versus stakeholders, the product qualities, service level versus the profit dividend is also important. We want to general public versus the shareholders. Of course, we want to be maximize the wealth of the shareholders. Shareholders' wealth is not only maximized through paying the dividend or but the goodwill of the company will go up ultimately if the company will perform and focus on 3P: profit, planet, and people. Sustainability means meeting the needs of current generation without compromising the needs of the future generation. So we have to focus on profit, planet, and people. Really, the contribution towards our income. So managers versus stakeholders, the growth versus efficiency. That's really we need to look around. Okay. Okay, external stakeholders, that's our outside, and internal, which is within the business, and conflict of interest is a balance we need to be managed. Okay, so there are a lot of models which we can look around to resolving the conflict. We need to be satisfying, involve the negotiation between the stakeholders, acceptance and compromise. We can need to be look around this attention and the management focus on the stakeholder needs in turn. For example, staff maybe receive the pay rise, and the clearly, we need to look around the impact on, or the pension, especially uh, we need to be look around. That's so that's we need to be look around. Can you see? Sorry, can you see the slides? Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so we can look around the payments, side payments. The primary objective cannot be met. So we need to be look around the key objective have toward the local community, uh, the fund, and how we can allocate these funds to work. Because end of the day, wider interest, your mission statement always, we are here to serve, we are here to develop, we are here to create opportunities. But actually, we never said we are here to earn the profit maximize. Our objective to be look around the wider interest of the society. So that's meeting the needs and the wants of stakeholders. Exercise the power. So when deadlock resolve at the senior figures, we have to look around the decision based on the power, and in the stakeholders mapping. We have to look around what the power of the stakeholders, like Hinchcliffe, EDF electricity plant. That's they start drilling, fracking, getting the gas, and the pressure group, of course, the environmentalists. They not been involved initially, and they blocked the roads and went to. We have to involve them initially, because of course this is very around their interest as well, not just So, okay. So next we can look around, mention the mission, the value of the company. Always not contradict. We treat people to be treated. Every little help, like Tesco, and then we can look around. We treat people like to be treated, but the small farmer being paid after 18 months, and the big, the supply is being paid within less than a year, in few months, 6 months, within 6 months. So that's clearly is contradict with the own mission and not meeting the needs and the wants of those stakeholders. Those have a less power. Corporate governance, we need to be the company govern in the best interest of the wider interest of the stakeholders, not few stakeholders. So corporate ethics as moral principle, we have to look around meeting the interests, not conflicting, morally correct, like paying the national living wage, not national minimum. So national minimum wage is the by law you have to pay, and the national living wage you're paying more than that. So that's we can look around. And then of course we can look around the large listed companies, previous private limited company, and the stakeholder. So everyone, doesn't matter whatever the size of the company, we need to be look around the stakeholders. So principal are the shareholders, and the managers are the servant. They are the steward. They have to work best interest of the shareholders according to the agency theory. So financial statement provide true and fair. The government, we can look around the non-executive director for the governance purposes, openness and transparency we need to promote within the company. We can look around internal, external, and connected stakeholders, as we mentioned, and their interests, and we map them again, the mapping. Then we have a 4.2 note exemptions made and limitation information provided to the various stakeholders. So we can look around AGM. AGM is an annual general meeting. Really, we need to be. Now, think about, couple of, if you with the nationwide, they always send letters this year, AGM, when we have it. And they recently take over the Virgin Media Bank, the banking side they merge with. So they always inform to the why they're informing to the customer, because ultimately that taking on board the stakeholders. Yes, extraordinary meeting, sometime extra things which is happen, any affairs need to be adjusted. So normally AGM once a year, and the shareholders at the voting right, those are ordinary shareholders, and in the tax affairs and all, we can communicate to the various stakeholders through the AGM. Okay. So then effective communication. If you want to be effective communication with the various stakeholders, we focus on 7 C's. So there is a 7 C's concept. I'm not sure you ever heard or learned any, maybe. Yes, yes. So 7 C's, we need a complete information. We need concise information. We need to be consideration. We need to be clear message. We need to be concise message. We need to be complete message. So these are 7 C's we can focus when we communicating with the various stakeholders. So if we are not in the facts and figures according to their understanding, we need to be appropriate in the format we can use, observation format, conventions, using style are the main guidance. This is just for the communication, writing letters, emails, the technical format, the terminologies should be are protecting, appropriate, the corporate image really we need to be as a company, all the purpose really we need to be, why we are communicating. So normally we use the keywords is AIDA forward. Attention, first of all, always we need to be look around that, get the attention of the stakeholders, look the interest, like you're advertising, so attention, interest, desired, and action. So then we take the action. So that is very, so first thing you look the attention of the stakeholders through the communication. So we use two past and case. So when we structure our communication, are we writing things? So we can look around the purpose, audience, structure, and style. Keep it short and simple information that's to the stakeholders. Always very crucial. We can look around the where visibility, neatness, of course, demonstrating competencies, record of the needs, the users. Always we keep corporate image, is very important. Like even we need to collect the money from someone, they not paid it. We're not going to give them thread letter first. We can yes, you're always paying on time. Thanks for, but unfortunate, we not receive your payment this time. Always be very politely, because this is the image of your company, and the goodwill of the company is quite linked to with your communication. So formal, informal, of course, informal, friendly, personal, but formal. We need to be specific reference, sentence to whom you are addressing. Always we need to be key terms. Always terminologies, explain them. Internal with the colleague, fine, but external, which will be outsiders, but various stakeholders. The method can be voice. All we do, I'm doing these, communication written. Always we need to be. So when we do letters or anything, so we need a clearly structured approach. We need to be follow. Always subject really matters, headings. So, and of course at the end, your own. So these are some example of communication that's helpful. So report, of course, we can, in our report, we can include the tax affairs and the figures and the finding and the conclusion recommendation. This year we have why the difference, because they due to the economics and the sales and all others are there. Maybe you have a capital asset, you invested money, written down allowance you have. Those are, and then of course informal reports which we can. If we writing emails, so always try to be, if we have a various stakeholders, we can look around BCC if we want to copy, because sometimes confidentiality can be issued, so we have to look around the blind carbon copy instead of CC. So that's good to be use the BCC instead of. Then of course we can do the facts and facts number headers from in communication, whatever subject is also really matter. Then we have 4.3, assess the known taxation factor applicable. So communication play the vital role aspect of the organization operation. So we can look around, if we are expanding our business, we can look around, we can improve more coordination through, of course, nowadays we have digital, we have apps and various other tools. We can use. We can discuss about the strategy where the future plan. So if you find the financial statement of the company, financial statement is not only the balance sheet. Uh, yes. So we can look around these, it's very crucial in term of things. So communication play a vital role in every aspect of an organization, operation and activities. Internal communication within the companies, of course, is very, will carry on updating. Like, nowadays, of course, so your dashboard of the computer or messaging carry on coming. That's, it's quite good. So we can look around like the company plan to expand the business abroad. Yes, we are thinking next 6 or we are going to be mergers and acquisition. So this clearly indicate, the company is growing and these will be impact, in the communication to taking board, and because they carry on passing the messages to various, and we are up to date, with the news of the companies and what the companies are fair. Financial statement also indicates, what is the future plan of the company, where the company seeing. So we can look around using the various source. Of course, nowadays social media can play the key role. If you want to look around which social media is, there is a website called Statista. It's a website that's quite good. The way you can find, how much is people using, how many people using the Facebook, social media, uh, YouTube, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is quite good. You can set up if you're not on the LinkedIn. It's quite good. A lot of courses even free on the LinkedIn. Or if you want to look around few, there are the few good website. Is a Open Learn. I'm not sure anyone ever used it. Open Learn, which is Open University. A lot of courses are now offering digital or digitalization or computer or analytics. That's, is quite good information about various companies. Future Learn is quite good to use, please. That's also various free courses you can do on the Future Learn. And other information, if you want, like, on the curve.uk, which is ONS Office of National Statistics, looking where the economics growth. At the moment, discussion going around the base rate will come down. At the moment, base rate is 5.25%. So we can look around these, all the information to stakeholders. In the light of these, we can make various decisions, and internal communication in the company, which will carry on through, of course, nowadays more digital, and we want to be make sure clearly communicate with all the facts and figures to the various stakeholders. We need to be effective information by using 7Cs, putting attention, interest, desired, and action. Don't use in push communication. We want to be push approach is, oh, yeah, as a sales, it's a last chance. You must do it, this and that. We try to be pull them by telling them features and the benefit of the things to the stakeholders. They pull to us, and we use various technology. Of course, nowadays AI, artificial intelligence. When you typing one word, is automatically, the answers carry about these words, chat, GBT, and various other source, and blockchain. And these are machine learning is quite good, and that's, which will carry on using these for various purposes. So select the right delivery channel of distribution. Always looking the noise. Noise is the main hurdle. So effective communication normally two ways. Are we looking these with the various, the stakeholders? What the response rate we have? How many people checking and responding these? Location is multinational companies. Always we use the word think globally, act locally. Think globally, act locally. Always local culture, the caste and the features and the colors, schemes is also verbal and non-verbal communication also important to keep in mind with the stakeholders when we do. Of course, we need to be make sure clearly we look around the strategic direction, taking on board to the various stakeholders and communication through the various channels ultimately help, to be, and then we can develop the organization strategies, vision, missions, and the values, and the trend, and the short term and the long term objective of the organization which we carry on. So if any restructuring or redundancies, of course, redundant rules, we can't really make the people redundant. If anything want to restructure, you have to communicate to the stakeholders. You have to take on board, there is a consultancy period, there is a garden leave we have to look around. We have to communicate with the various and meeting the legal requirement. So ensure the consistent communication process and procedures should be followed and meeting all the legal requirement and communication effective bring the and increase the goodwill. Feedback from employees is the feed forward, so always good communication with the employees and various other stakeholders. So communication business in help you to increase the performance. When we're looking the performance, not one area, performance in time, in cost and quality. Never measure the performance on one area, just cost went down. But look around what is happening in terms of the customer satisfaction, what's happening in terms of the future growth, So these are all quality. Meeting, of course, we can meeting minutes, meeting information will carry on. Of course, nowadays we can use various digital tools to do meeting like WebEx, Skype, Teams, and various other. Of course, and well aware of, and we can communicate with these. Solve problem, make decisions, develop plans. All in the meeting can be meeting need to clearly objective what we really want to achieve. Otherwise, there's no point. And the other is the network events and through communication and engaging with the stakeholders is also very important. Okay, guys. So this is today's lesson is more about the stakeholders' interest and communication. So last thing, which I quickly show you before we summarize things what we discussed. So if you want to look around more about the stakeholders, our stakeholder analysis, our stakeholders mapping, so yourself as well for other unit, even this unit is only one of the learning outcome, which is about few types stakeholders. That if you write the word Kaplan is a publisher, and you will find the knowledge bank, which is mean chapter of the books, of the Kaplan. They have a quite good resource bank. So if you look around, so you can find what is meant by stakeholders analysis. Yeah, so these are all quite good, in the mapping document. And if we look for the other, because the stakeholder model is not only used in, it's used in the business management, in strategies, in operations. So these, we can look around. Yes, direct, indirect stakeholders, internal, how you can divide into active and possessive stakeholder, voluntary. So we can map it. We need minimum effort to inform them or satisfy them because some are the key, some are directly impact stakeholders, any strategy and policies whatsoever will make it. So that's all, So today our key focus was about stakeholders. Stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest. And we discuss about communication, and communication we can look around the 7 C's. It need to be more formal, and all the facts and figures need to be communicate about that. Either is a text or generic, the companies and all the information which we can find of the companies at the future plan, especially in the financial statement and the notes of the financial statement policies, and what this is are the inventory evaluation segment of the business, which segment of the business give how much profit and the cost of the future plan of that segment SBUs business unit. So these will carry on doing. Anyone, any question, please? That's all from my end. Okay, any question regarding stakeholders or any other question? And the next lesson will do discussion, and will be right. Yes, so next week our lesson will be an assignment discussion about, and we'll recap all the learning outcome, what we done, lesson 1, lesson 2, 3. Then we link to the, according to the assignment brief, and we can find example, how we can embed it, how we can reference, how we can create table of content, all with our lesson details. And that's all for this week, and a lovely week. And if you have any questions, you can ask, please. And otherwise, I'll speak to you next week. Anyone, any question? No.
No, at the moment.
Okay, thank you and have a lovely weekend. I'll speak you next week. Stay safe,
Thank you.
you know, weekend left and speak you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Dave. Bye-bye.